Today, I'd like to introduce you to one man's journey and how he overcame alcohol and drugs through changing his mindset and changing his body through fitness. Here is David Larry, 32, of Seattle, Washington. So we're here. It's great to see you, man.
Me
I'm
too.
excited. I'm excited. I've talked to you in a while.
I know.
I know a lot probably happened in your life since the last time we talked.
Sure has.
Right, right. So some of the things I just wrote down, jotted down, just some questions. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about alcohol and drugs, right? And the how with fitness, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to your mentality, and it comes to you emotionally, how to affect you emotionally. I guess one of the first questions I want to ask is, what made you? First of all, what made you decide to start doing all those things, and then we'll dive into the next question is why did you decide that you wanted to stop?
So I guess what made me move into all those things, I was a influenced teen, I guess you could say. I just wanted to fit in with everybody else. Everybody else in my area was smoking pot, so that's what I did. Um, Started smoking cigarettes at a much earlier age, about 12, and I started drinking consistently probably at 15. And I was stealing liquor from stores to get it, just asking bums to go buy it for me, whatever I had to do to get my fix back then. And I think it was really just about fitting in with the crowd that I was traveling with back then. Everybody was a delinquent, and so I wanted to be a delinquent. I wanted to be a cool kid. I've always been very influenced by music in my life, and that's about the time I got into Tupac. And so just wanted to be that gangster badass type of
Uh, all right. Yeah. So I get a little bit of Tupac. All right. So yeah. So you went through that whole transition where you're being, you wanted to be this, like the tough guy, whatever it is, the cool kid. You want to fit in, and you started noticing it affecting your life, like if I'm sure, because that's where right now you're not
guy.
doing anything. What was that transition where you were like, oh shit, this is like not where I want to be?
Took a long time to get to that transition.
Yeah.
Took until 2013 to get to that transition. I was, gosh, I guess I was 26 years old, just about. And it was because I discovered cycling, because I discovered fitness. I was still smoking a pack a day and cigarettes, and I really wanted to get faster on my bike and get stronger on my bike. I started cycling, and that urge to want to get faster and better and stronger took over any urge to smoke cigarettes. And so I quit smoking cigarettes, I quit drinking soda, and I quit drinking sugary coffee all at once in September 2013. And that was really the beginning of my transformation. I felt I lost 35 pounds in about 4 months riding my bike every day, not smoking cigarettes, and cutting out all that excess sugar. And then from there, it progressed in 2016. Actually, I went through a messy breakup in 2015, and I spent most of 2015 and 16 just really, really drunk. And I came to one night where I was out at a club. It was my friend's birthday. I thought after this night happened, I thought I got drugged, but about 6 months later, I realized that I had actually drank a pint of Jameson in the car on the way to the club while driving to the club. And that was just all the more reason for me to stop me in my tracks. But after this night, I um, woke up the next morning, 7 a.m., just ran to the bathroom puking. I woke up to my bathroom being covered in puke, my toilet seat being broken off, my bedspread being covered in puke, Um, I had fallen down the stairs the night before, and I didn't remember any of it. I didn't remember driving home. I didn't remember how I even got to that point. And that was the day, that next day, I was like, you know what? You've been drinking for about 12 years consecutively. What's a year off? A little bit of balance in life, right? And so with that decision, I decided to take a year off of drinking in 2016, and I just haven't looked back. A year came and went, and I haven't craved it. And I know that things are a very slippery slope for me. And so, I mean, I've done a lot of traveling in the past year, and I went 6 weeks in Europe without a glass of wine. I mean, I'm really dedicated to never drinking again at this point in my life because I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I will fall back into what I was at one point, and I never want to be there again. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
fear sometimes motivates you, right? Fear makes you do things or the things that you're when you're fear that you want to fall back into that. One thing I want to ask you, you feared it, but do you feel like your life right now um, is more exciting than it has been in a long time?
absolutely, absolutely. The third part of that phase would be after I quit drinking, I lost about 30 pounds immediately, like within 2 to 3 weeks, because I'm assuming because I was drinking so much. But that next year, I lost 60 pounds. Getting into fitness, working out every day, doing push-ups every day, crunches every day. I think I got up to 160 push-ups every day consecutively for about 4 months, and that just really helped me shed the pounds for my body at least. I know everybody's different, but after that, I went to this life changing camp. And after that camp, I decided I didn't need marijuana anymore. And I quit smoking weed cold turkey back in 2018, September 2018. And I haven't had the urge to go back to that. And now I can say that I am completely sober. And I can also say that over the past 4 weeks or so, 4 to 5 weeks, I've completely cut out processed sugar from my life. I still have a few tangerines and apples every day, but as far as like baked goods and white sugar, it's gone, and I feel great.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Um, we could dive into that a little bit more in a second, but I want to go back and talk a little bit more about like how you do with fitness. Do you feel like the fitness aspect of this kind of saved your life?
absolutely, absolutely. Letting go of that alcohol and just starting hitting the gym every day, my home gym as it was, I was able to really transform the way I saw myself, not only in the mirror, but like how I feel about myself inside. Um, I know that it's just skin deep and I should love myself no matter what I look like, but it really gives me a lot of confidence, gives me a confidence boost to see those types of results when I look in the mirror. And I'm still seeing them to this day, and it feels great.
That's awesome. So yeah, with fitness and with quitting, there's a lot of things that come like on the science level. If you look at it on the science level, not to get too deep into that, but how it affects you, uh, like do you know a little bit about the science behind it, or is it something that you just did more of a, is that more of a spiritual thing that you decided journey you want to take, or was it just like I'm just fed up? You just like I don't even like you didn't even look into that side of it, or just no?
Didn't even didn't even give it a second thought. Like I was truly just fed up with how I was living my life, what body I was living my life in, and I just really needed to make that change. I mean, on the psychological side of it, we can go back to when I was 10, 11 years old. My dad was struggling with his weight all of his life. And he was taking me to the gym with him. So I was a gym rat at a very young age, hanging out with my dad and hanging out in the nursery while he was out working out. And then when I was 12 or 13, I started working out with him. And so it really has been beaten into my brain my entire life. This fitness is the way to be. And by the time I got to the point where I was just like fed up with how I was and really wanted to make a change, that's all that was driving me. I didn't look into any of the scientific side of it or
That's
how it would affect me mentally. But now looking back on that and seeing some of those studies, I completely understand it because I lived it.
right, right. Like we have a feeling like when you're like I feel this like something's bothered me, and like I don't know exactly why, but I don't want this in my life anymore. Then when you look at it on a scientific level too, if you look on what it does to the brain chemistry, and what it does to the body itself, it's poisoning the brain, it's poisoning the body. If we go into the brain, it releases dopamine, right? It increases dopamine, that feel good hormone, like a lot of drugs do, and a lot of things that make you happy. So you got your things that make you happy, that are good for you, that release that dopamine, like healthy sex, within a relationship, the first kiss that you have with somebody, like a jog, a run. But then you have your toxic things like alcohol and drugs and whatever else, other outside sources that like social media, whatever it might be. And then we have that release of dopamine. We like it. So now what happens is that we want more of it, and we start drinking more and more, or somebody drinks more and more. And what happens after a while, they need more, and they need more, and more. And then what happens is your dopamine levels are now down here, and just to get back to that, you need to drink more and more and more and more. And that's where the addiction comes in, not just physically, but now like mentally too, on a level, on a neurotransmitter level, where you're now that just to get back to that, you need more and more and more. So it's such a hard thing to break away from, and how it affects you just there alone. It everything starts with the brain. I always tell everybody, you can't get in shape until you fix this first, right? Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, what you've been saying to me, this shows me yeah, you didn't need all the science behind it to know that, but that's what the science behind it is. Let's give you a little background on the science part of it. Um, and physically, how it affects your liver and your kidneys and your pancreas. Um, we're literally, I'm not telling anybody not to drink. I'm not saying that. Do what you want to do. Enjoy your life. Have a drink if you're okay with that. But what I'm trying to have more awareness is that every time you drink, even if it's a little bit, you're putting a toxic substance into your body. When you're taking
Yep.
a drug, you're putting a toxic substance in your body. Your body's got to get rid of that. And when it comes to weight loss, and what I'll just give you a little bit of insight on how it works with weight loss. I don't want to give up my viewers and anybody else who's watching it. Is your body has to get rid of it first before it can process. It can metabolize other things like fat, proteins, carbs, and fats. So what it does is it turns into an acetate, right? When it turns into an acetate, got to get rid of that. So until the body gets rid of the alcohol that's in your system, it's not, the other parts of the functions of metabolizing food are not happening. Now you can keep it under control, but why take the chance? So I
Mhm.
tell a lot of people the best thing to do is when you're trying to get in shape, or is to really limit the amount of alcohol you take, or not drink it at all, on a physical level. But back to like the emotional level, like, where you're at now in life. Like tell like you said you've been traveling. Like financially, do you notice a difference in your finances too?
I'm in a very unique position with my finances right now, and I'm very grateful for that. But I recently had a family member pass away who left me a sizable inheritance, and so that's what's given me the freedom currently to I was a bicycle mechanic, which was great. I love working on bikes. I love helping people through that way. But now I'm refocusing on helping people more directly. Over the past year and a half, I've gotten into writing a lot of poetry, and I really want to put out a book called Poetic Positivity here pretty soon. Um, and I'd really love to inspire people through my words and my actions rather than just getting them out on a bike. Not that getting them out on a bike is a bad thing by any means. Like, it did wonders for me and my fitness, but I'd really like to focus more like one-on-one helping people. And my new venture is actually sound healing. And I want to open a sound healing and meditation center here near Seattle in the next 2 years or so. So I'm excited about that.
That is awesome.
And if I hadn't quit smoking marijuana, none of this would have come to fruition the way that it has. Because, I mean, if I was still addicted to drugs and alcohol, that inheritance would be gone way quicker, and I would have nothing to show for it. I wouldn't have traveled around the world, most likely, and I wouldn't have the determination to reach my goals because marijuana really just inhibited me to the point that it turned me into the huge slacker and procrastinator. I would think about doing things like doing the dishes, and I couldn't even get up to do that, let alone building a meditation center and sound healing center. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's really giving up drugs and alcohol has done wonders for me on that front, the
Yeah.
motivation front.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I'm on my own journey myself. I mean, not to dive too much in me, this is about you today, but I totally agree with you on all that's all fronts with that procrastination. The determination to do things and the drive to get up is like, it becomes a lot harder when you have those substances in your life and relationships. Now, that's a whole other subject we could dive into, but today's about,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So we found out everything about you about when it comes to the drugs and the alcohol and how we are today, and I'm really excited for your next journey in life. And me and you have talked before about hiking together and stuff like that. I really want to get out there and hike with you. I'm
yeah,
excited.
absolutely.
We got to do this. We got to do that.
I'll
Um,
be back in Philly at some point this year, so I'm gonna make some time for you for sure. I'll
all
make
right,
it a week
awesome.
trip so we can spend a
All,
couple days together.
oh, dude, I love that. I want to leave the viewers with one last thing. You said you're in the poetry and writing. Um, I know I'm putting you on the spot. With that being said, like, is there something you can leave me with um, like some kind of poetry that you could come up with, or you have in your head about the your fitness level, your emotional level, the drug and alcohol, how you left it all behind? Do you have anything on you, like any?
No, unfortunately, I cannot come up with poetry.
All right, all right. So
Something on a whim, but
if you're not okay. But I'm holding you to that. You're gonna come up with something for me. You're gonna write it up,
absolutely,
and then you can just send that to me, and I'll post it on my Facebook or my
you
whatever.
got it, brother. You got it.
But it was a fantastic talking to you today. I'm looking forward to putting this content out there and just have people more aware of like how it affects the body, the mind, not just like physically, but mentally and emotionally, and how you to get to that physical level. You wouldn't be where you're at today if you didn't stop those things, or at least for us, some people just like limit them, or But I think the best option is to really cut it out altogether if you can. If you can, not everybody wants to do that, and we're not, like I said, we're not here to tell people to stop drinking. We're here to just give people content. That's it.
Yeah,
I
I
hope
mean,
everybody out there can get something from this and learn something from this. And once again, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure,
absolutely.
David. David, I will talk to you soon, and you have like a fantastic day, man. Love you, brother.
All right, Jordan. You too.